Right, good day watchers, I'm welcome to a review tonight. Tonight I've been watching a film called Night of the Demon. This is a 1957 film. It's a very old film, black and white of course. Okay, so in this movie, so he doesn't say the back of the story, doesn't say nothing about the story, so I'm like, oh, okay. So okay, in this film, at the beginning of the film, right, you see this guy driving along this road, and of course he's in a hurry for something, then ends up at this like big house, and he meets this cult leader, and he's on about some kind of entity and stuff like that. So it's chasing him or something, and of course he has to stop. He's got to stop something for it to go away, whatever. And of course the guy, the cult leader, I can't remember the guy's name. He's just saying, no, you know, okay, he agrees with him. He says that he'll stop whatever that he's doing. I'm not going to explain too much about the story, but it's an interesting movie. It's like a 57 film, so it's quite old. And of course he's like, oh thanks, you know. So it is this big house. It's like a mansion. It's a big, you know, house this guy lives like. It's a cult leader, like I said. Of course he leaves in his car. Then he goes back home, right, of course. Then so it happens where he ends up at his house, and then the next minute he sees this like. He goes out of his car and he looks out and he's looking down this road, and he sees this smoke coming towards him. Actually, the effects in the film are quite good. He crashes into this pole and almost gets electrocuted by the wires and stuff that's hanging above him. Of course, then that's when he gets kind of electrocuted, then he gets killed by the monster. Then you see this like monster, and the effects are quite good in this film. For 57 film, it's not a bad looking film. And then the monster kills him. You see this like demon, this creepy, the kind of like huge demon that's quite scary looking. I don't want to mess with it. So anyway, then later on in the film, you see he's playing these people are sitting down. You know, this guy sitting down trying to sleep. Right, this woman's behind him, like you know, writing and stuff like that. So of course, those two kind of get together later on in the film, because the girl in it is the niece of the guy who died. The guy is like a doctor. He works at this hospital. Of course, he's a bit of a skeptic. Of course, he works like on the supernatural stuff like that. But he's a skeptic at the same time. And of course, at first, of course, they're both knowing each. First of all, they're both annoying each other at first when they're on the plane. And of course, then they meet each other. Of course, and they start investigating. You know. She's investigating her uncle's death and stuff, and he's like investigating this a bit, because he's a bit skeptic. Of course, then he meets the guy in the library, the cult leader, and that's when stuff starts happening where he gets like a hex on him, like a curse on him, where he's gonna die at a certain amount of days, and then he dies. So he's been put on it because. Yeah, he's given a hex where, you know, a curse or whatever is what we call it. So yeah, I like the part. The film did make me jump a few times. I was sitting there going, "Oh, this is kind of like, you know, it's a good film." It did actually make me jump. I was a bit surprised. I was sitting there going, "Jesus, that made me jump a bit." Because at the part where he ends up at the house fight, he goes to the house again, right? I don't know, I can't remember why. But he goes to the house where the guy lives, right? And he tries to break in, and he goes through the window because the window's open, right? Because the woman drives him to the house, right? And he goes through the window, right? And when he's going down the stairs, right, next to you, see his hand drop, like his hand come, and it made me jump on like, Jesus Christ, what the hell was that? And then you see then he goes into the room, but like, you know, he goes into the room, right, looking for something, right? And of course, you see his cat. There's cats here. The cat made me jump too. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. I'm not going to explain the whole story because this film's like an hour and a half, and it's not a long film, but it's a lot happening in this film when you're watching, because you know you've got to explain every. I'm not going to explain every part of the story because then it will take an hour and a half to explain every story, and I don't like doing that. And that scene was quite scary. It kind of made me jump. I like the part where what scenes did I like that I just thought it was great. When they have a seance at this house, right? and he's just so skeptical. He's so skeptical. He goes to this person's house, right? And they have this séance. Of course, you see this guy sitting there, like doing all his voices, because then he's like, the guy in the main character, the doctor, he's like saying, "Oh, it's all freaking fraud and stuff like." But I'm thinking to myself, how can he do all these voices? He does kind of children's voices, other characters' voices, and you think, huh? I mean, it could have been fraud. Some people are good at voice acting and stuff like that, changing the voice. So who knows? So yeah, when he was, I like the part where they go to that guy's house, right, just before before he breaks in, and the guy in it, the cult leader, is like entertaining his children, and the next minute he's entertaining his children. Next minute he does some kind of weird thing where there's always like, he knows that there's going to be like a lot of wind. Next minute there's a lot of wind blowing everything around. He's like, what the hell? Of course, the thing is, so the doctor thinks that the guy's a big fraud until the last part of the film, which is really good on the train. I like the train part then where what he's got is like piece of paper. It's like thing when like that. If you give it to someone, like that person's gonna die. That other person's gonna die. So the curse is lifted off you onto that next person. So what he does is go to the train station. He ends up on the train like the woman is, because the woman's taken by this guy, right, the cult leader, and he tries to freaking like give the thing back to him, and he does something really clever by putting the piece of paper into his coat, and he takes it. Really clever part of the last part of the film where you actually see him getting killed by the demon. I thought the effects were quite good in the film. Like the part at the end where the guy gets killed by the demon, you actually see he's like, grabbing hold of that guy and dropping him onto the freaking train tracks. So yeah, I really enjoyed this film. It's not a bad movie. I really liked it actually. It's really good. Yeah, what I didn't like about this film, I suppose the only thing I didn't like about this film, you didn't see much of the demon in it. It's only like the beginning of the part and the last part you see the demon, but apart from that, it's not a big fear. So yeah, what I liked about it, I thought the effects were quite good. Performance and story, I had a good sense of humour too. Quite a funny. I don't know, just some certain parts did actually make me laugh. There's a part in this film that made me laugh, and I thought that was quite funny. I thought the effects were good, the solid performances, and it actually genuinely made me kind of jump a little bit, not like full on scare. But yeah, the demon's pretty cool in it too. I liked it. So yeah. So the rating I'm going to give this film is I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. I quite liked it actually. So 4 out of 5 for Night of the Demon. So yeah. I liked it. Really liked it. Anyway, usually this is my review of Night of the Demon. Good film. Definitely worth a watch. Never seen it before, but it was actually on TV. Like, it was last year, the year before. And I thought, oh man, watching it, it looks quite good. It's worth watching. Yeah, I liked it. I like the atmosphere, the creepy music and stuff, and it's pretty cool. Not gory or anything, just a fun horror movie. So many people, I'm going to go off now. Remember to subscribe to the channel, have a nice day, have a nice week, and take care. And do it and just don't. Anyway, so have a nice day, have a nice evening, and take care, and see you later. Oh, boy.